What's going on out there? Give me a second. Let me make sure that everything is working right. I gotta do this. Make sure that YouTube. I don't see it yet. Let's try another. Let's open another one. Give me a sec. I'll be right with you. And we're gonna talk. Voila. Where you at? Huh? Oh, because it's early. Probably because it's early. All right. Anyway, what's going on out there, YouTube land? It's your man, not your boy, Ted E. Fame, formerly of Tony Williams Platters, from 1982 to 1992. 10 years, count it, 10 years. I was a member of Tony Williams' final version of the Platters, which was called Tony Williams Platters. Those last 10 years were like a whirlwind for me, being that it was the biggest stage I've ever been on up to that point. In no way in a million years would you have told me that I would have been a member of a group of the Statues of the Platters. So I got 10 years worth of stories to talk about. I've started this. Where are you, man? Where are you, YouTube? Sorry about that. I'm trying to find. Why isn't it not showing up on YouTube yet? It usually takes a few minutes. So I know it's gonna pop up. I know it's gonna pop up eventually. But 10 years worth of adventures of behind the scene stories, the comings and goings on, or what happens in a famous, not just famous, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame famous group was like. Traveling on the road, traveling overseas, traveling to various countries I never thought I would ever visit. Never in a million years would I thought I had visited some of these places. Actually, end up making a, sorry, 1 second. Actually, making a few of those places home for a few years. Like, for example, I lived in Singapore for a whole year. And I lived in Japan for like damn near 10 years. Like the duration of the time I was in, almost the duration of the time I was in the Platters. After I left the Platters. This story today, we're gonna focus on a show we did in 1987, if I'm not mistaken. And it was in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Omni Civic Center or Theater, something like, I forgot what it was called. On that show was the Platters, Ray Charles. And this story is basically, and who else? I forgot. It could have been. It could have been Benny King or the Coast. There was two other acts besides us. And this is one of the rare times when we're doing a show with other acts and we're not the headliners. It only happened one other time when I was in the group. And that's around 86. And we did a show with the Ohio, and this was a crazy show, with the Ohio Players and Harold Melman and the Blue Notes in Washington, D.C. at the Hilton Hotel on New Year's Eve. And I got some pictures around here. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about that one on my next video because that was interesting, very, very, very interesting. So I want to share those stories about that. But right now, we're going to talk about the '87 show with Ray Charles, and I want to specifically talk about that show with Ray Charles because now we're dealing with an artist who I'm very familiar with. Out of all of the artists that we had worked with up to that point. And I was a big fan of. So I was, how can I say? I was sort of starstruck. Sorry about that. Let me drink some tea here. Sort of starstruck and proud at the same time that I was going to be on a stage, sharing a stage. Well, not sharing. Oh, yeah, sharing because he do his show, then we do our show with Ray Charles. So, like a lot of those places, they fly us out the day before. We stay in the hotel. The next day, we go to the venue and do a sound check, then go back to the hotel, and then come back, do the show. Then the next night, the next morning, we leave and go to the next event or go back home, however that was going to be. Well, this one was a specific show. I forgot all the details because it was so long ago. It was 1987. This is 2023, and I'm kind of going off memory about all these stories I'm telling you. And thankful that I'm still in a good frame of mind. You know what? That light is bothering me. Hold on. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's a lot better. That I'm still in a good frame of mind where I remember most of these stories, or most of these stories. There's going to be a lot of stuff I've probably forgotten. Somebody has to jog my memory. But for the most part, the stuff that I'm going to talk about is stuff that I remember vividly. So we do this out there, we come back. That's another sold out show. And that's another thing. I would say I joined the group in '82. I would say by '85, this whole rock and roll revival thing started taking off. I think it happened around the time, two things that stick out to me in that era, in that decade, was the Frankie Lyman story, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, and Diana Ross having a hit record with the remake of Why Do Fools Fall in Love. They went #1, if I'm not mistaken, on the pop charts. And it was sort of this revision, and Happy Days was also still strong. So there was this sort of revision of the nostalgia of the 50s music in that doo-wop era. And I think that sort of sparked that whole thing. Hold on a second, I want to just check on one thing. Just want to check on something real quick. Where am I? There we go. Voila. I knew it was somewhere. I just had to find it. I found it. There we go. Uh-oh. Gotta cut that up. I know it was fun. Sorry about that. Anyway, we're back in business. That's what I was looking for. So where was I? So it was a revival of the 50s and early 60s music. So there was a lot of bookings. I mean, boy, did we tour. I was told that I was told by the other members of the group that I was lucky to join the group, and I did, because they did not work as much in the 70s as we were doing in the 80s because of that whole thing. I mean, Jesus, we were everywhere. Went to Vienna, Austria. We went to Singapore, Japan, Jesus, the Caribbeans. I can't remember how many countries and places that we've been. And the crazy part about all those places we went, they was all sold out. And the Platters hadn't had a hit record since the 50s or the late 60s with a minor hit with Sonny Turner, but not with Tony Williams. And here we are selling out all these venues, and it was incredible for me. So this particular show, this particular concert, we are actually Ray Charles was the headliner. And the other two acts opened up. I think it was Del Vikings probably opened up, and then Benny King came on, and then Reed, the Platters, and then Ray Charles. What was the Omni Center? It hold what, about 15, 20,000 people and sold out? Boy, let me tell you, a guy coming from singing in local groups and bands, and probably the max amount of people was probably 100, 150, to be playing for tens of thousands of people. Mind blowing. Go to one. Oh, by the way, while you're here, you get a chance, please like and subscribe to my channel and share it with other Platters fans that you probably know of who don't know about Teddy Fame, the last surviving member of Tony Williams Platters from 1982 to 1992. Is here sharing stories about his time being a member of the group. And you can also go to my channel and go to the playlist under the Platters, and you'll find videos of me singing with Tony, with the Platters. I got stuff from 88 and 89. I was lucky for someone to film us doing a show in 89, and then the 88 show was from the Showtime Rock World Classic Union, which I talked about the last time I went live, which you can go back on that live and hear about that story. Well, this one was before that. So, like I said, between 80, 85, and 91, man, we was working like crazy. We was traveling everywhere. And it was amazing because it was an experience for me that catapulted me into this thing as a full-time venue, being in the music and entertainment business, which I am still to this day a part of the entertainment business. Although I'm not touring or as a Platter, I retired the Platters thing, so I'm not really singing professionally anymore. I'll go out and sit in with various clubs and stuff when I here in LA locally, but I'm mostly acting now. I'm doing some commercials and some stand-in and background stuff, but that's where my focus is at right now. So this YouTube channel I just created about 3 weeks ago. That's why you can see it's not that many subscribers yet. Not too many people know that the Platters, one of the Platters members, has a YouTube channel, and he's talking about the Platters. So like I said, eventually, I hope that more Platters fans will find this channel and come and join me. So let's get back to that particular night. So like I said, Ray Charles was a headliner, and we would act just before the headliner. So backstage, this is a great story. So backstage, you know, we all got our own dressing room. Now, of course, we know Ray Charles is blind, but for some reason, he likes to keep his dressing room door open, and he's sitting at his makeup desk table, but it's right in front of the door. So you can, if you walk by the door and you look in, you can see Ray sitting at with his back to you. I don't even know why he's looking in the mirror. What the fuck? He got sunglasses on. You know, well, it's in the mirror. The mirror is there. So I'm not. He ain't looking in the mirror. But anyway, get back to the story. So we going first, but we had met earlier that at the sound check. The groups that were there during the sound check, they all sort of. And these guys are older, and some of them know each other from back in the day. And, you know, of course, Ray Charles and Tony Williams would know each other because they were the biggest thing that there were, two of the biggest black male singers at the time. So they would, you know, greet each other with pleasantry. And Tony introduced his new group. Ray, this is my new Platters, and these are the guys in the group and stuff. So I didn't really talk to him enough like that. But that night, when it was time for the show, and I remember this vividly because this was a memory that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life. Like I said, Ray Charles kept his dressing room door open. So I was walking by, going to the stage, because it was almost our time, and he's going to follow us. So when I walked by, and I just saw him sitting there, it was my opportunity to speak to Ray Charles. So I looked in, I said, "Hello, Mr. Charles. This is Teddy Fame. I'm with Tony's group. I'm the new singer in Tony's group." He said, "Yeah, I know who you are, boy. I know who you are, young man." What he said? "Yeah, I know who you are, young man. Go on out there and do your thing. I'll be listening." Ray Charles said that to me. Man, let me tell you something. That inspired me so well that Ray Charles was going to be listening to me sing, because you can hear from the dressing room, you can hear the stage. And he's going to be hearing me. So I said, wow, Ray Charles is going to hear me sing. And that was so exciting that I'm going to show you something. I always wanted to do it. And I'm going to say I was inspired by Ray Charles. I learned how to play piano. So I'm a piano player. And just to top that off, to show you how much Ray Charles inspired me, go to my playlist under cover songs or under Teddy piano vocals. And I did a song to show my appreciation. I learned what I say, the whole piano part and the singing part. Just me with my click track on with my little drum machine on my piano, my keyboard electric piano, and me playing all the parts and playing and singing it. Go check out what I say and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. That was Ray Charles inspired. I learned that song because Ray Charles inspired me. The fact that he knew who I was and he was going to be listening to me. Unfortunately, he's not here to see that I've come full circles and I actually learned how to play piano because of him and learned one of his songs and dedicated to him. Well, it was a pretty good show. We did all the hits. He came out, tore the house down. And this is great because it was like one of those behind the scenes, backstage movie story where I'm at the back, I'm at the wing of the stage after our show. I want to see Ray Charles. And because I'm one of the artists, I don't have to go to audience. I can stand on the side of the stage and watch him perform. I stood there whole show and watched almost his whole show. I don't think I went back. Yeah, I think I went back and changed out of my tux because we were tux. So I went back to the dressing room, changed out of my tux, and the rest of the group went back to the hotel. Well, I said, no, I'm gonna stay because I want to watch Ray Charles. Because once our show's over, normally once our show's over, we go back to the hotel unless there's some reason we have to stay. And normally we're the headliners, so there's no other act after us. So after we perform, then that's the end of the show. But this particular time, we were the act before the headliner. So Ray Charles the headliner. So I wanted to see his whole show. So I stayed and watched Ray Charles sing all those songs and play, and it was freaking amazing. Totally amazing. Left me overexcited, spellbound, thankful. Even to this day, I'm still, and this has happened in the 80s. Are you with me? Can you understand what I'm saying? This is 2023. I'm telling you about something that happened in 1987. I almost forgot how old I was. I just had a birthday this month. I'm 64 years old. I was born September 1st, 1959. I'm 64 years old. In 87, I was 26 or 27 years old. In my prime. And I'm so thankful for whoever was able to film us at that time, because those videos of me singing with the Platters is me in my prime, in my full youth and glory. And I'm so thankful that I have those to always look back on and talk about. There's going to be so many stories that I'm going to be sharing with you guys about my 10 years being a member of Tony Williams Platters. I want to make this clear. I wasn't a member of the Platters. I was a member of Tony Williams Platters. So being that Tony Williams was the only original member in the group, it was a group he put together, using his wife as the replacement for Zola Taylor. His wife was Helen Williams, who also doubled as the manager of the group. And that was his last version of the Platters, his last 10 years before he died in 1992. And I was also at the Waldorf Astoria in 1990 when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because that's where they held it at. I don't know, do they still hold it at the Waldorf Astoria? They held it there. And we lived in Manhattan. So the only thing we had to do was take a taxi drive to Park Avenue. Well, Park Avenue and 51st Street, if I'm not mistaken, is where the Waldorf Astoria. Actually, I'm from New York City, so I was born and raised in New York. I'm sure you can tell by my accent that I'm a New Yorker. I live in California now. I live out here in LA. I've been out here in LA since 2007. I love it out here. And it's partly why I'm still in the entertainment business, and because I'm acting now. And that's fun. But getting back to Tony Williams and Platters, I'm going to be sharing many, many, many more stories about many things that went on in the 10 years. I can only talk about what happened when I was in a group. I can't really tell you about anything that happened before 1982 because I wasn't there. It'd be like secondhand information that somebody told me and I'm regurgitating. But everything I'm telling you guys about now, I was there to witness with my own eyes, and I was part of it. So from 1982 to 1992, I was a member of Tony Williams Platters. And every time you saw Tony Williams performing with his version of Platters, you saw Teddy Fame. I'm the tall guy in the middle. Back then I had some hair. I was younger. I'm still tall. I think I'm about the same size. No, my waist a little bigger. I'm a 32 now. I was a 28. Yeah, I'm a 32 now. I'll try to take care, not try to eat too much and get overweight because I like being slim. My nickname was Slim. People used to call me Slim all the time. Oh, here I am, slide track again. Sorry about that. But once again, if you guys continue following me, hopefully you'll, as I keep doing these lives, you'll start engaging in conversation with me. Once I get enough people commenting and leaving something to comment while I'm live, then eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link in the comment box and have you guys join me, and we can have like, I mean, one-on-one conversation. That's down the road. Right now, I'm getting used to doing these live streams on this YouTube thing. This thing is cool. You know, I don't expect 1 million followers overnight. I know this is going to take time, but hopefully there's enough Platters fans, because this channel is dedicated to the memory of Tony Williams. As you can see in the picture, that's us and doing some performance. I forgot where, and that's me in the middle. That's Tony and his wife Helen, the two in the white, and then I'm in the middle, and then the other two members of the Platters. That's the lineup. That's our lineup for the 10 years, and I always was in the middle. I love that. I felt like special being in the middle. That second tenor, I'm second tenor. It was the second tenor spot. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. I got so many memories. I want to talk about the first time my mother came to see me, because now my mother, that's her era, so she was familiar with the Platters and stuff. Matter of fact, I think she liked a few of their songs. I can remember hearing A Great Pretender, and I think it was Smoke Gets in Your Eyes or My Prayer, one of those songs when I was a kid. But no one ever thought, she never thought I was going to go up to be a singer. I didn't think I was going to go be a singer. And no one in a million years would have thought I would have been a member of one of these famous groups that she grew up as a teenager listening to her music. Now, before she even had me. And then having a son that's going to one day be a member of one of those groups. And that's amazing, huh? Anyway, I got a great story about the time that she came to see us, because we lived in New York. I'm from New York, and we live in New York. We was lucky. I was lucky to play Madison Square Garden with the Platters and the Beacon Theater, and those are two major New York City venues that all the artists, all the entertainers want to play. Also, the Apollo Theater. Now, I didn't play the Apollo Theater with the Platters, but I did amateur night at the Apollo Theater. That's another I'm going to talk about too when I talk about my personal journey, which is going to be after I finish talking about all the journeys with the Platters. But yeah, that story I'm going to talk about, that was 1983, about a year after I joined the group, about 83, and we played the Beacon Theater. And I was able to invite my mother to come down and see that show. And that show was the Drifters, the Coasters, I think Leslie Gore, and us, the Platters. Oh, and Benny King and the Platters, and we were the headliners. And it's a great story about how my mom was reacting seeing me on stage and all that stuff. So I'm going to talk about that. What time is it? How long have we been on now? 30 minutes. I usually go 30 minutes, so that's about right. So I'm gonna be ending this particular one because I don't want to over talk. You know, I want to save some stories for when I go live again. So that was the story of the time that this was the story of the time that I performed with Ray Charles. Oh, and here's another. I can share you this one because I already talked about this. I done performed with Ray Charles, Jerry Lee Lewis, Bo Diddley, uh, Benny King, Wilson Pickett, uh, the Teenagers, Little Anthony and Imperials. Oh my goodness, I got so many stories to talk about, man. This is going to take 10 years. No, but it's going to take some time because this is 10 years worth of stories about the Platters. And your guys are so lucky that I found this YouTube thing, because these stories would have went to the grave with me, because I'm the last surviving member. Everybody else on those videos that if you go back and watch the videos of me singing with the Platters, everybody else in those videos are gone. They are no longer with us. I'm the only person left. That's because I was a kid when I joined. I was what, 22 years old when I joined the Platters? You know, everybody's like 20, 30 years older than me when I joined the group. So if I'm 64 now, and if everybody was 20 years older than me, that means they would have been 80-something years old. Just saying, right? And that would have been the one that's the youngest, closest to me. You know, Tony died at the age that I am now. In 1992, he was 64 when he died. So if Tony was 64 when he died in 1992, and I'm 64 now, so 92, 2002, 2012, 2022, 23, 24. So he would have been 64, 74, 84, 94. He would have been 95 years old today. He would have been 95 years old today if he was still alive. That's crazy. Just thinking about that, that's crazy. I just had to say that. It's crazy. Who knows when our time is going to come? You know, none of this is promised. Getting old is not promised to you. Okay, getting old is not promised to you. It's not promised to everyone. You know, it's something to appreciate to be getting old. And I never thought I was going to and still be healthy, no illnesses, and pretty good health. Pretty safe. Never thought I was going to make it to this phase, but I am. And I'm here, and I'm appreciative of it. And I'm appreciative of it enough to want to share these stories with you guys and talk about anything Tony Williams of the Platters related that I could share. I will talk about those things. So once again, I'd like to say thank you for spending this time with me. You can always leave something in the comment section after I'm gone, once I log off from going live. Or if you see this video after the live is over, leave a comment, ask me a question, challenge me. Some people don't even believe me. Some people say, you ain't no freaking member of no Tony Williams Platters. You're a liar. You're too young or whatever. But I got the receipts. Like I said, all you have to do is go to my playlist, look up the Platters, look at any of those videos, and you'll see me right in the middle. A young version of me, no gray. The young pretty version of me. I'm the older, distinguished version of me now. I was the young, pretty version of me. I don't know. Some people say I'm still pretty. I don't know. What do you say? What do you think? But anyway, it's been fun as usual. Thank you for joining me and spending this time with me going live. And I'm going to go live again on the Wednesday. I go live 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And each time I go live, I talk about something different. I forgot what I said I was going to talk about. I'm going to have to go back and watch this video. And because I thought about something specifically I wanted to talk about. Oh, I'm probably going to talk about either the time that my moms came to see me, or I'm going to talk about another time. I got so many stories. Whatever. I'll figure it out. All right. Anyway, This is Teddy Fame, formerly of Tony Williams Platters from 1982 to 1992. Saying thank you. I'll see you again. Peace and love.